This short video, I'm going to do a quick training on how you can get to the root cause of porn addiction and quit for good. Oftentimes, men never get to the root cause, which is why they continue to struggle. I struggled with it for 17 years. I tried everything that's possible. And so today, I want to share with you guys a comprehensive lesson on addressing the real deeper issues. And so, first thing we're going to look at, we want to understand the root cause. Porn is just a symptom of a deeper thing going inside of our hearts and our minds, in our lifestyle. And so we want to identify emotional, psychological, spiritual factors that are contributing to this addiction. The reason why this is so important is because I've talked to hundreds of guys on calls. And what I've noticed is that many men take an approach that is not long-term. And so you might be in those exact same shoes. You might be thinking that willpower alone is enough. And so you're grinding it out, you're getting up early, you're trying to just say no to it, you're white knuckling. It only goes a few days, maybe a few weeks even, but then you continue to relapse. It's not getting at the heart issue, the root cause. The other thing that I see men do a lot, and big mistake, is really just neglecting emotions, ignoring the emotional needs that you have. You might be lonely, you might be bored, you might feel like you're stuck in your life, but you're not processing that. You're not uncovering it. So we're going to talk about that. And then the third thing is you view porn as really the main issue and not the symptom. And so you have this mindset issue where you're thinking that this is the main problem in my life. You spend so much time putting attention into that you spend less time in creating a life that is so much better, where then porn just naturally goes away. And so I want to look at a very vital and important verse that highlights this issue of the root cause. James 1:14 says, "You are tempted when you are enticed by" what? "Your own desire." Okay, so there's a desire that you have. This is what we call the unmet desire. And so you're not receiving something, so you're looking for pornography to receive that. So what could some of these desires be? Sometimes that unmet desire is you desire adventure. And so as men, we want to conquer, we want to do great things, but we feel bored. We feel like we're not being used. We feel like we're not getting ahead in life. Another one of these desires could be that you want companionship, okay, but you are experiencing loneliness. Another one of these is peace. That's a big one for men because you're experiencing stress and overwhelm from work. And so you have this desire, you're enticed, right? You're drawn, you're tempted because you're drawn by this desire. You want adventure, you want companionship, you want peace, you want a lot of things, but you're not getting it. So the question becomes, your mind is now thinking, where am I going to receive? This is your mind thinking, where am I going to receive? What is the pathway I take to receive these things that I want in my life? And so this is where it all begins. This is where you have to understand what is your unmet desire. Because if you understand that your desire is peace, but you're struggling with stress, let's elaborate this a little bit more. So you want peace, but you're experiencing stress. How do you work then on relieving or alleviating that stress in your life? The way that you do it is by working on your schedule. You work on having better habits. You work on having a better task manager and getting your tasks done so that you then, at the end of the day, feel like you're accomplished, right? So that you have peace, right? Another one, obviously, for some guys, when they have a desire is they want to feel in momentum and they feel stuck. That could be in your singleness, in your work, or whatever place. But this is the core fundamental issue. You are tempted because you have a desire and that desire is unmet. And so that really is the root issue. So then what you do is you work on the real problem. So you work when you have an issue with adventure, you work on figuring out any hobbies or interests that you can do to fill your natural dopamine. If you're looking for companionship or if looking for affection from your spouse, you go and work on having a date night or playing card games. So that is the root issue, and that's how you work on it, not on the surface level. So there are these emotional needs that we already discussed, but the root cause is super vital. I want to give you an illustration of what this could look like. Porn is the fruit of a tree with the roots are shame, loneliness, disconnection. So let's draw it. So here we have a tree, and oftentimes what men seek to do, right, is they have the fruit of porn all over this tree. And so what they try to do is, well, I don't want that porn. So you try to pick off the porn off of your life. You try once, you try again, you're trying to get rid of porn. Guess what the real issue is throughout all of this? The real issue is actually that you have loneliness down here. You have the root of loneliness. You have the root of shame, and you keep running back to it. You have the root of stress. You have the root of boredom. And so all of these things then, what they end up doing is they continue to produce the fruit of pornography because you're not dealing with the root cause. This is just an illustration for you to visualize what is really going on. So addiction is like a weed. You can try to just trim it with a weed whacker on the top, but the reality is unless you uproot it, you're not going to be able to fix it. It's going to keep growing back. And right now I wanted to share with you just a personal story of my life. I started watching when I was 13 years old. I don't think I knew why I was watching. It might have been the reasons that I just listed, but it could have just simply been like boredom or adventure or excitement. But as I grew older in my life, I started observing why it was happening. And especially like the last 4 or 5 years, I've noticed it's two things. For me, there's two things that cause me to be tempted. Number one is rejection. And the second thing is stress. Now, rejection is one of those things where I just feel like it hits right at my ego. I try to create something awesome, I feel rejected. I present great ideas, I feel rejected. Somebody comments about what I'm doing in my life, I feel rejected. And so that rejection then triggers me to go to pornography. Stress was another one. Deadlines, just a lot of stuff going on in my life. And so those two were things that were major for me. So I started observing why I was going to pornography. I realized these were the two things. I started then working on the root in my life. Now, if you're tracking with me right now, drop something in the comments on this YouTube video. I want to see that you're understanding what I am laying down. And so if you are understanding this, right now, just pause. And what I want you to do is I want you to reflect on a recent time that you were tempted. Reflect on the emotions right before you were turning to pornography for you to observe what is the root cause. So observe what was going on. What were you feeling? What were you thinking? You even pause this video and do that so that you can start processing why is this happening. The easiest way to do this is you just write down Monday through Friday and you go through the week and you write down what happened each day when you were and what was going on. And as you're tracking it, you're going to start noticing connections. So to wrap it up, right, why is willpower not enough? You are focusing on the just sheer strength and ignoring the emotional, psychological things that are going on. The root cause is the heart issues, right? When you're not working on your emotions, you are not addressing the things that often drive you in your life. I want to draw this paradigm for you. Action is what we all want to fix. We all want to quit, but preceding the action, there's always an emotion. Preceding the emotion, there's always a thought. And preceding the thought, there's always a mindset. Okay, so we want to fix the action, but the problem is that it already started way more upstream in the mindset. So you want to fix the action, work on the emotion. Well, the emotion was, oh, I feel stuck, I feel overwhelmed. What is the thought? The thought is, I'm behind. The thought is, I have too much to do. Well, why do you have that thought? Because your mindset could be that you are a perfectionist. And that is really an identity issue. And understand that. So guys, I really hope this has benefited you, opened your eyes a little bit to how do you deal with the root cause in your life? What could it be? How do you deal with it? How to process through it? Here's some homework for you. Identify one emotional, spiritual root cause, seek accountability, pray, get practical steps towards healing. Now, if you are interested in being a part of a community of men that are doing this every single week, and we're doing case studies of guys sharing the things that are going on in their life, understanding their unmet desire and their root cause, and we do a live on coaching calls. Right below this video is giving me my calendar link. You can book in a call. I'll help you try to understand your root cause, and I will share with you also the awesome community that over 100 guys are a part of that are continuously breaking free from lust and porn, and would love for you to be a part of that as well.